Okay everyone, welcome. I am gonna have myself a little rant. I want to talk about why Jiu-Jitsu people seem to be so reluctant to do strength training to support their sport. I want to talk to you about why strength training in itself is super important, regardless of whether or not you play any sport. And I also want to talk about the over-specific drills that people tend to do, thinking that they're going to be improving their jiu-jitsu. Now I'm going to do this with in this much time. I'm going to flip my little timer here, and yeah, it's already got some in the bottom because I had a false start because I forgot to hit record. So professional. So let's go. She's on. So when it comes to strength training, strength, mobility, flexibility, any of that, we need to be following a program. We need to be following a progressive program that repeats the same movements over and over and over again to make sure that we are getting better and stronger at them. When we want to get better at jiu-jitsu, we need to train more jiu-jitsu. But that is where the similarities in those two lie. That's where it ends. Just training more jiu-jitsu harder, more often, more regularly is not going to be the thing that's going to get you stronger and more flexible or fitter. Yes, it will, of course, help you to build some strength and fitness, but it's not going to help that continue to improve. So when we're in the gym, the gym is a very controlled environment, right? So we're able to make sure that we're progressing over the course of the program. That might not be every week or even every month, depending on how long you've been training, but it is easier for us to make sure that we are progressing. Jiu-jitsu is a skill, so that's a little bit difficult. A little bit more different and yes, difficult. Progressing at a skill is much different than just getting stronger, more flexible or whatever. Progressing at a skill takes time, and it's very, very different for every person. So the only way that you can get better at a certain skill is to do that skill and to practice it. So that's where jiu-jitsu comes in to play there. We want to obviously make sure we're getting enough stimulus from jiu-jitsu that we're continuing to learn the skill itself. You don't want to be training so much that you just get confused and you can't absorb any more information. And then for the strength training side of things, that's where we're going to be building that body that is going to protect us, going to keep us on the mats for as long as possible, going to help build strong muscles, bones, tendons, ligaments, and help mitigate against those serious injuries. It's a martial arts. You're not going to ever avoid injury entirely, but maybe we can make it not quite so severe. Maybe we can improve the recovery time to get you back on the mat sooner. All of that stuff comes from the gym. That comes from that controlled environment where we can figure out what our weaknesses are and we can focus on them to make them stronger. Now, the reason that you want things like end range strength within your training program is because, like I said before, jiu-jitsu is dynamic and it's unpredictable. So, well, not entirely, but you know what I mean. It's very dynamic and it's very fast. You often get put in positions that you didn't want to be in. So having end range strength is going to help you to maneuver yourself. It's going to help you have that strength at those end ranges of your flexibility so that you don't potentially get injured quite as badly or at all. And it's going to help with your performance. If you're able to sort of wiggle your hips into tight spaces and retain your guard, you can pull off submissions more easily. And it's just going to be all round good for you. When it comes to recovery, having a better access to those ranges is going to help with the blood flow, which may increase your recovery time, decrease your recovery time. So getting you back on the mat sooner is what I'm trying to say there. Now, let's take out jiu-jitsu and just talk about strength training. Everyone should be doing it anyway. Strength training is the only thing that we can do to help our bones and our muscles as we age. As we age, our muscle mass decreases, sarcopenia, as well as our bone mineral density, osteopenia or osteoporosis. If you're a female over the ages of early to mid 30s, you have reached your peak bone mineral density, which is terrifying. So the only way that you can help promote that continued growth of bone, or at least slow down the degradation of that bone, is through strength training, impact work like plyometrics, and doing them regularly. Obviously diet comes into it as well, but we're not going to talk about that today. So I just don't understand this reluctance, especially from jiu-jitsu people, to do any strength training. Strength is never going to be a weakness. If you're stronger and fitter on the mats, you have less output that you need in order to submit your opponent, or even to just have a good roll. If you're less strong and less fit, it's going to be so much harder for you, and it's already a hard sport. So I honestly don't understand people's apprehension there. And that's really all I have to say today. Trying to keep it short, but too long didn't read. Do your strength training, do your plyometrics, incorporate some end range strength, eat your protein. I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now. And train jiu-jitsu regularly. Don't go overboard. Make sure you're recovered. It's a lot to try and fit in. You don't need to be doing yoga classes, Pilates classes, cardio sessions, 17 rolling sessions a week, and then 6 strength training sessions a week. Honestly, 2 to 3 strength sessions that incorporate some smart integrations of flexibility and end range strength. That negates the need to do yoga. If you enjoy doing yoga and you have time for it, awesome. But you get more out of strength training in terms of building muscle and strong bones. And then obviously jiu-jitsu. The whole thing here is that we're trying to support jiu-jitsu, so we don't want to burn ourselves out. You want to be supporting it. So building that strong foundation of a body that can do jiu-jitsu at the best of your ability for as long as possible. And look, I did it. Rant over. Thank you very much for joining me. And if you've got anything you'd like me to rant about, please let me know.